us in the ghost of William Showman and how it was. They come up like Hamlet's ghost. And when something is offensive, you hear them say, no. Now, one of the things that's coming out is a cartoon book by a friend of mine, Matt Young. It's called Rejection Collection. These are all the cartoons we reject because they're too offensive, obscene, whatever. And one of the things it demonstrates, because see, the New Yorker is not a comedy club. It's not a comic venue where, okay, that's all it is. If you go to a comedy club, you see Chris Rock, you know, you can't say I'm offended. So, but the New Yorker, you know, there's the articles and stuff, so do we, especially, they do this, you know, editorial thing, what's proper for the New Yorker. But that doesn't mean that it's proper for comedy in general, because what humor is really about is not, it's not beauty, it's about freedom. About freedom to think anything and say, hey, it's only a drawing. Relax. You know? So I'll show you some of these cartoons that will cause some people dizziness and all that. Maybe even 4-hour lectures. Anyway, ask the doctor if it's right. I didn't say. First I'm going to show the cartoons we did after 9/11, then I'm going to contrast with the cartoons that are actually offensive. We actually ran this. I figure if I don't have the third martini, then the terrorists will win. Now, what I'm sure I made a mistake, I got the sequence wrong. I'm sure the cartoons we did run on topics that people could conceivably been, offended by. We'll need to declaw the cat. And now, right after 9/11, we didn't run any cartoons. Then we started running cartoons like this. And one of the things about cartoons, I think, is that they really are, relating 4,000 years of Jewish tradition to the democratic openness and dialogue. They really are part of the democratic dialogue because there are ways in which ordinary people make comments about what seems absurd, which is, now it's the jail. And believe me, that hurt me. Yeah, throw away. My heel looks good, but it would have been fantastic. I couldn't go to my gel. I had thrown away. Good gel, too. And so as I go to school also, I saw a big thing on the plasma screen saying, what's prohibited, the gels, this, that, and also jokes. You see that? He says, no jokes about security are allowed, And, I said, hey, come on, I'm a licensed humorist. So now it's the gels, and 40 years ago was the nail clippers that if somehow the idea that terrorists were going to get hold of nail clippers and back everybody to the planet because they were going to really, really hurts. I forgot when we were called. What's that? And so now it's the gels. This is about a month later. It's hard, but slowly I'm getting back to hating it. And this is great, really. This is also emotional truth. And this was only about a month after 9/11. And really, when you look at what unfolded, it's really interesting how much the cartoons really were the intent of what was going to happen. How else were you going to pay for the war? And this caused some problem. Why we believe prison, no hard feelings, pizza. Now all of a sudden people got, a little antsy. And I think now, okay, so this is the rejection collection. This is what I was talking about before. These are the cartoons that we don't do. Okay, and it gets worse. So that's that one. One of the things the New Yorker acts as a filter for the artist. The cartoonists, of course, the cartoonists appear in the New Yorker, and to some extent they're New Yorker cartoons, but they're actually humorous. I mean, they'll do 10 or 15 ideas every week, and they'll be a very, very wide range. And they don't censor themselves, and that's what this book is really about. this is worse. Oh, God, that's terrible. So these are all, they're very funny in a certain context. And here, we're all sort of that, we really laugh. We get lots of, all the time, a lot of suicide bombing jokes. Now, I think my personal thing is we should run them because I think one of the points of humor is not to be afraid of things, but actually to show how insane the logic of these things are. When the whole thing with the Danish cartoons, we ran some cartoons, but frankly they were pretty mild, but we got some outrageous cartoons. Cartoons I thought were very funny. I don't have this one, but I'll describe it. It'll work anyway. Shows the suicide bomber, and he's in heaven, he's all in pieces, except for his head, which is, I guess the imam is just talking to the head and saying, you get the version when we find your penis. What do they expect to happen? Now, there's an interesting fact about this. I gave a talk at MIT to researchers. I mentioned that, and the Israeli researchers said, in many cases, the suicide bombers wrap their penises in steel. So that's the truth of it. So that shows